Check. Check. Oh my god. Guys, I've just done an hour-long stream with my mute on. My computer doesn't have a built-in microphone, so when it defaulted to using computer audio, it didn't, I just got the sound on. And is anybody getting sound from me now? I think I'm an idiot. I'm not an idiot. I think I didn't, I'm gonna blame it on the solar storm. I'm gonna blame it on the solar storm. Let's see. Are y'all getting any audio from me now? Now? Let's go back to this one. Let's see. What about now? What about now? Any sound now? No? Maybe? Maybe now? Anybody seeing sound now? One, two, three, four, five, six. I mean, I have my mic and aux showing as metering right here, and I wasn't metering throughout the entire thing, so I don't know why I thought it was working. Desktop audio, desktop audio. Is anything working now? How about this? How about now? How about now? How about now? Now you can hear me. All right, fantastic. All right, let's just start the stream over. My mom wasn't here. My sound wasn't on. It doesn't count. I'm going to delete it. I'm going to put some funny things over, voiceover over myself earlier. Okay, well, now the stream just has higher concurrent views, and I get to go recap everything. We did get a earthquake in the background while I figured out my sound an hour too late. Let's take a look at Earthquake 3D right now. Where's my most recent quake? Where are you? Where's the one that just came up? Let's look at... We did take a look at all of these. Earlier today, we were looking at there being massive earthquakes over here in Papua New Guinea yesterday and today, 6.9 up into the 7 region. We also saw earthquakes across the Mediterranean and Middle East. We saw some earthquakes, typical earthquakes around Puerto Rico and Ecuador, Peru and Argentina border. We also had one here in the United States, and I guess that's an Oregon, Washington border region there, and a 3.1 here in Hawaii. 3's going all across the board the way that, yeah, I mean, I don't even have below 2s turned on. If I just look at today's date with below 2s on, we had the 6.9 in Papua New Guinea, the 5.2 out here on the Marianas Trench. And when we turn on our lower level quakes, we had a lot from Alaska into into the West Coast. But more quiet day. Compared to the last few days, we've seen a lot of earthquakes. And that's no surprise, because as I went on to explain with the space weather update, we have an incredibly fast solar wind speed right now and a solar storm going on. What's a solar storm mean? That means more radiation, more protons and electrons, and coming in the form of plasma from the sun. We also have fast-moving, high-energy particles that are kind of our gauge of what the solar storm level is. So we're at a solar storm S2 level right now. We're also looking at that's for our less than 10 mega electron volt strong protons coming in. But then the protons that are coming in at 50 mega electron volts or less are also in an S1 category for them, because just being over 1 counts as a storm. And for the less than 100 mega electron volts, greater than or equal to 100 mega electron volt range, that also got into its respective solar storm region earlier in the day. Now that is because we looked at a giant coronal mass ejection just now kind of hitting the Earth. We're going into the time where this is hitting the Earth. Let's see if I can get this on Soho to show y'all. Yesterday was the big coronal mass ejection that started this storm. So, boom, there we go. We'll see a larger potential. There we go. That is the big storm. And then after the big storm, you see all these, look at all these little sparkly things. That's not stars. That's not dust. That is high energy particles registering on the camera as photons because they're moving so fast. So you saw the big storm, and then afterwards there's a little delay, then all the snow starts to come in. So that is just a beautiful illustration of what happens in a solar storm. That's a minor solar storm. There was another coronal mass ejection there, a little flare to the south. Let's see. Our X-ray flux hasn't been too bad, but the solar wind speed has been really high because of this coronal mass ejection that is facing just past facing the Earth, and now the wind is blowing in our direction in the wake of rotating around. And we've also, so this is like twice what normal solar wind speed is. This is really, really high solar wind speed. Let's take a look at today's CMEs. We had a lot today. But let's also see, this is the massive one that shook us up with this big solar storm. That is the big boy that we saw. So, a lot of solar activity happening. Let me recap with the mic on my planetary happenings. Today is the day of the lunar eclipse, a partial lunar eclipse. It's really an umbral lunar or a penumbral lunar eclipse, because we're not going to get that nice red tinting. We're not going to see the sun we're not going to see the moon get swallowed up whole. We're just going to see a bit of a dimming and a shadow on it, because as you see, this sun opposite moon is not exactly aligned with where the north node and south node are. They're just in the same signs. So that's why the total solar eclipse is going to be such a spectacular one, because our lunar eclipse was just a little too early to be the real deal. This solar eclipse, though, is the one that's going to happen on April 8th, and we are already gearing up for that with having sorry guys, that's the sound that Earthquake 3D makes. If y'all are hearing any sounds, there was just a new earthquake in the Mariana Islands region, another 5.2 at 10 kilometers depth. So, okay. You can hear sound, but not see sound. I can't see sound either. Where am I talking from? Who knows? Okay, where am I talking from is the mic. I'm talking into this mic, the Bigfoot audio mic. Okay. Okay. Let's go back. Thank you to everybody in the chat who helped me figure out my mic wasn't on. I really should have noticed that my mic wasn't metering at all, but I just kept getting these fake warnings from YouTube Studio saying, configure your backup stream and connection speed not big enough. And I'm like, I don't think it's possible to have a bigger connection speed than mine. Nobody else is using Wi-Fi in the house. Primary and backup strings. One of them is an invalid configuration. I don't care. I have one of them. It's fine. Okay, let's go. I clicked on this to take a look at volcanoes. Really, our volcano update from tonight was that we are still looking at a continued eruption from the Reykjanes Peninsula in Iceland. We've got, let's see. Oh, that's not the thing I wanted. That's not the link I was thinking. It's not the link I thinked. Okay. Let's take a look at the volcanic eruption hazard maps. The hazard maps have been changed again to show that Zone 3 is the biggest hazard. Here where it says gossip, that doesn't mean talking shit. That means a series of spatter cone volcano vents. And it's right here between Hagafell and Mitheth. It's really hard to say these words. Hills, they name their hills out there. This is the lava extent March 20th, 2024. This is, again, going right along the barriers in Grindavik. But let's go back and take a look at this other picture because this really shows, this is the eruption site, the Gossop active volcano events. That's a fun little breakout of erupting. So this is when lava really looks like acne on the Earth's surface. I'm just gonna say it, but it doesn't technically behave that way. Let's see. This is a really cool map of the depth of the lava that's flowed since the March 20th eruption, or March 18th eruption. The darker regions are where we are at 8 to 10 kilometers depth or higher. The actual spatter cones are up to 16 meters high. They're over 16 meters high, and that is twice the height of the defense walls here. These defense walls are 8 meters high. Now, I'm a dumb American, and I can't really imagine what that looks like except for the pictures I've seen of like a 6 foot tall man being like 1/3 the size of 8 feet tall, or of 8 meters tall. So I don't even know what that conversion is. But they're really big, and the lava piling up behind them is also really big. So currently, we're at risk of, if there is more eruption to come and it flows further south the way that it could, they were needing to build the barrier walls higher, but unfortunately, I think it's up here, there's some gravel pit that they were using to build the defense walls, and it got filled in by lava. So they have to get new source on their infill, if they want to build the defense walls any higher. I mean, it's really pretty, but it's... this is our ground deformation. It's really swollen over here and blown up over here. So this is really the west of the Blue Lagoon and Svartsengi power plant region is the area that's been inflating. But it's just found its exit zone, its exit buddy over here. So I think they did expect the eruption to be done by now, but it has been surprisingly persistent. There's also the risk of, with a more persistent eruption, there's the risk that the volcanic gases are gonna do severe harm to people's breathing quality, and that was a concern the other day when the gases went to Keflavik were blowing into that region. That's a more populated area, probably where a lot of people have evacuated to. Let's go ahead and what else have I talked about? Volcanoes, earthquakes, tornadoes. We've currently got, we're currently warned for some tornadoes across the country. That's not the page I wanted. Okay. Let's look at this. This is the massive storm that is causing a big outbreak of individual discrete supercells across northern Texas and southern Oklahoma that is currently producing some tornadoes already tonight and the risk of extreme hail events. We are also seeing this big northern end of the storm become a big snowmaker for Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, Nebraska, really looking at some high snowfall totals expected over the next few days from what the Weather Channel is calling Winter Storm Sawyer. Now, let's take a look at... I couldn't get microwave band on my other... let's see, ozone. Ozone production is really interesting because you can see both pollution of ozone, but also severe storms that are crackling enough and electrical enough to turn oxygen into ozone. Let's see. That's our sandwich RGB. That's not what I want. Where's micro, day-night cloud micro combo? Okay, this shows the types of air masses that are being jammed up next to each other, and that's what's creating the severe weather. Is I was trying to describe how little notches of dry air will move fast within masses of moist air, and that kind of tears up at the moist air like a saw, but it also stirs it around like the blade in a blender. Like you're making a storm smoothie. You need a few inflow notches of dry air to be able to power the geometry and getting like unstable. I went off onto a tangent about friction, so I'm almost glad that this didn't record the audio with that. What else did I need to look at? I don't think I needed to look at too much else here. We can go back and look at radar Omega. Let's go back and look at our composite radar from radar Omega. Let's see if I can get up to 30 frames. Are y'all gonna let me show this whole storm? Maybe. We'll see. We'll see if radar Omega likes me enough to let me show the entire storm. 30 frames of storm. Yeah. So this has been the big culprit of the severe storms and tornado watches tonight. This cell that's currently moving through Ardmore is the one that earlier in the night spawned a tornado. I think there have been some other tornadoes spawned as well. We're looking at really severe hail risk, high wind risk, soaking rain in. They just come in and shake up the whole system, really destabilize the air masses, so it's even harder to predict. But up here is where we've been looking at the winter weather. Let's put our winter weather scan on. Yeah, there we go. Here's where we're seeing all that snowfall being dumped in the Great Lakes region. Oh, there's another earthquake. Where's this one? Another new earthquake. This time it was a 5.6 off the coast of Bismani, Russia, in that peninsula. So to me, it looks like the 5.6s are moving up through the Pacific plate and probably going to head into... Sorry, I know I didn't change it on the OBS thing. Probably going to head into Alaska next, but fortunately, Alaska has a lot of different paths for momentum to move in. So they will, I mean, I hope that will chew up all the momentum that the plates want to shift. But, yeah, the last one in this hour was here in the Mariana Trench, and the next one was right here in Russia. So that is really interesting. Let's see. What about this one? That one's technically the most recent, was a 0.6 in Washington area. Okay, let's go back to looking at atmosphere. Look, I figured out scenes. I figured out how to make scenes happen in OBS. We're doing it. We're really doing it here. Okay, what was I saying? I was talking about how this is going to be a really big snowmaker for the upper plains. Still not getting that good snowfall back. I mean, they've gotten a little snowfall, but this ecosystem depends on some heavy snowfall like we've been seeing here in the plain, in the more like Midwest rather than the plains. So the plains are missing out. We are also seeing a lot of moisture. The source of moisture is back here in the Pacific. We're also expecting another big storm system to move in after this one. So this will be the beginning of the end of spring, or of winter. But yeah, obviously it's cold as heck in the upper elevation. It's been nice and windy and a little sunnier in the south and the lower elevations, but here in the Appalachians, let me see if I can pull up a temperature map. Yeah, it's been really, really cold. Really cold in the East Coast, Northeast, upper plains, and higher elevations of the Western Rockies and Sierras. We're looking at, let's see. I mean, this is also a beautiful graphic of how a severe weather system forms thermally. Showing this. I wonder if it can march forward. No, I don't think it wants to do that. Okay, but anyway, really cold last little bit of winter here, and we're trying to get some of this Gulf of Mexico moisture and heat up into the country, but it's just getting turned into these nasty convective squall lines in Oklahoma and Texas. Well, really much of Tornado Alley for this whole spring. But this is getting into tornado season. I mean, I know tornado season really started in February this year, but we are ramping up for tornado season right now. And this is the setup that you want to see if you are looking for tornadoes. But again, we're not seeing much precipitation out of this. Absolutely, and that is why we still have a critical risk for fire in the high plains in Texas, where we just had all those wildfires. We still have power outages there. We also see just not a awesome situation. Let's take a look at our sea level pressures. That's from our GFS, validated GFS. Looking a little like I need to change the color grading on that one. Heyo. Let's do... Is this going to show me surface-based cape now? Yes, it will. It didn't want to show me cape earlier, but this is our little tornado juice, our surface-based cape, convective available potential energy, and there's this big string of cape that will be pushing out the solar cells, pushing up some thunderstorms tonight over into the midnight hours into tomorrow, and then we are going to have I mean, it doesn't look that convective up here, but when we know that this is going to be a big winter storm, let's see our predicted freezing rain. We are going to get a lot of freezing rain. Well, it's really only showing here near Mason City and Sioux Falls, but we are expecting a lot of freezing rain in much of the upper plains here. So all this convection that is starting down here is expected to move up into the snowstorm. So all the things that spawn tornadoes tonight are the things that become snowstorms tomorrow. So, meet. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the chat. Great to see y'all. Welcome. I've got earthquakes. I've got volcanoes. Oh wait, I don't have volcanoes up right now. You got your good old, you know what? Let's take a look at null Earth today, and I want to see if any of our air pollutants, our sulfur dioxide specifically, is making an impact. Yeah, there we go. You see that there's the eruption in the Rearcast Peninsula. That's because that's where, or you see the sulfur dioxide out here. That's because of that volcanic eruption. Then we also have been seeing some earthquakes in this region, but not many. What is with all of this sulfur being burned over here? I wonder what is going on with all that sulfur dioxide. What's happening in the Red Sea? I don't know. Earlier we saw some really big earthquakes here. We saw a 6.9 near 7 in Papua New Guinea today. I don't think that we've seen any other eruptions from that, but other than Lewotolo actually has a new lava tongue coming off of it, so I should have mentioned that in the volcanic update. But we're a few days behind on updates here because I've been working on a lot of IRL science and art, and that's because we've been seeing I don't know, I feel like I have such a creative burst of energy when there's a solar storm. I don't know about you guys, but I'm just... Let's take a look at... air. And game. That's not showing much. Yeah, okay. So, started talking about how I'm more productive at solar storms, and then I forgot what I was saying. We're looking at total cloud water now, and this is where you can see the difference between a highly convective squall line, or not even a squall line. It's not technically a squall. It's a line of discrete supercells that have been breaking out across Texas tonight. And you see how that doesn't look like it's going into anything? The water is going up into the clouds and really fueling this snowstorm that's going to happen in the upper plains and is already happening. This is the storm that just moved through the United States. It's a little hard for me to go back and get a long view of that, but it just swept through, giving us a lot of like back and forth, really unstable conditions. Let's look at our temperatures, though. With this on the granular size, this looks a lot more dramatic. Oh my goodness, is that another earthquake? We've got another earthquake on the stream. Where is it? Is it this 1.0 15 kilometer depth in where is that? Looks like, all right, right on the border of Mexico and California. I can't quite tell if that's San Diego or Baja or what it is, but just looking at the past few, I mean, let's zoom out to just a few. How do we do just a few? Oh, and we were talking about the eclipse earlier. These cyan and white lines on the Earth that I've got displayed are the projection of the sun and moon's orbits around the Earth. You can see how close those lines are right now because the moon is in its ecliptic level, ecliptic phase. We're having an eclipse right now. These were the most recent earthquakes on stream. We had a 5.2 here in the Mariana Islands and a 5.3 off of Bismani, Russia. And then we also saw some recent 1.8 and 1.2 in Alaska, and lots of little tremors working their way down into, wow, that's severe weather there. That's what we love to see on this channel. We love to see coincidences. You love to see when there's a tornado happening at the same time as an earthquake. Okay. All right, all my viewers are gone. Nobody's chatting anymore. That's fine. That's cool. I think that my stream has been clipping a little bit. What was that sound? There are just so many sounds and things happening tonight. I don't even know what half of them mean. Okay, now, one thing that I didn't get to before I realized my mic was off is I did not do a cosmic weather update yet. So let's clear out the energy of forgetting to turn our mic on. I did plug it in. I just didn't change the source on the computer. Sometimes this wants to ring better than it. Okay. Now that we've cleared out our space, I think we can do some reading. Reading on this. Where am I starting? I've already picked up the stone that's with this one, so let me start with that. This is my little selenite. Everybody love it. Look at it. Beautiful flash selenite. Alrighty, so this is my deck of oracle cards that are a little bit more positive. Or they're a little bit too positive if you ask some people, but they should be encouraging. Well, I don't know, there's no should or shouldn't, but alright. I'm gonna blame it on the eclipse that I forgot my mic. Maybe I'm supposed to realize, am I really sure I want to do this? Yeah, I'm sure. these a good old shuffle. I feel like some of these are still stuck together because there's so many cards that I haven't seen in this deck yet. And it's a very new to me deck, so that could be it. All right, welcome viewers. We are just wrapping up my weather recap forecast section of the evening, and we've gone from volcanic weather to earthquakes to terrestrial weather to planetary weather to solar weather, and now we are doing a card pull for the cosmic weather of the evening. Happy lunar eclipse to everybody. It's 11:11 p.m. on 3/24/24. Let's see what the cosmic weather is like. Who wants to tell a message? All right. Okay. There is abundance in everything. Shortage. There is an abundance of everything. Shortage is only a perception. It's really hard to get this in focus right now because I've put my webcam right on the ring light. But it is a little birdie singing lots of notes, and it says, you keep thinking there is a shortage of abundance, but a shortage is only a perception. There is a never-ending stream of abundance. There is no shortage whatsoever. Really interesting card. I was learning about topology today, and spinors, not spinners, spinors, and the mathematical concept of spinners. And that really gives me a lot of feelings of abundance in the universe and lack being an illusion based on our 2, 3, and 4-dimensional perception of the universe. I really do think that we don't quite understand mathematically or scientifically what abundance, what justifies the internal feeling that a lot of people have that there is an abundance of everything, but we are going to get there if we try. Okay, now for the liminal space deck, my nice in-between one. This is Ocean Jasper. Tap, tap, tap. ASMR. Tap, 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 tap. Let's give this one a nice little shuffle too. Give them all a nice little shuffle. That one sounds so much nicer than the others. All right. Oh, that's a jumper. A vision. A vision. This is a... Let's see how focused this can get. This is a scorpion in the desert under a crescent moon. It says a vision. Very cool. Very cool. I think I may have only pulled this card once before. I don't even know if I've pulled it before. Let's see. A vision says... Oh, gotta go back. It's under V for vision. You know. Okay. A vision. Deep in your subconscious, deep in the desert, under a brilliant starlit sky and glowing full moon, you awaken inside of a tent. You walk around out into the night, following distant sounds of thunder. You see a bonfire, and beside it, an enormous obsidian black scorpion, cut open and gushing gold molten blood. You fall to your knees and bathe your hands in it. You look at your hands. Prophecy will come obscured in symbol when its meaning is beyond verbal language. The message is received, whatever it is. All right. Hi, what am I doing? Hi, Mix. This is a weather show, and you're catching the last part of it. And I use oracle decks and tarot cards in order to pull for cosmic weather. We just went over what planetary weather there was, mainly the eclipse. Um, and there's yet another earthquake happening in the background. This time the earthquake came from another one in California. So everybody look out. So the message is important to listen to. So far in our cosmic message, we've gotten a vision, and there is an abundance of everything. Shortage is only a perception. And I was inspired to talk about not tinsers, spinors and topology and higher dimensional geometry, and how that kind of justifies a not believing in the concept of lack. Okay, now for our final card pull. Got my labradorite charged holographic tarot deck. Let's go ahead and shuffle these. Only half of them wanted to come out of the jar. What does that mean? Messages mean anything that you take them to mean. So this beautiful vision of a scorpion in the moonlit desert has an interesting symbol with it, but really symbols will come in a way that tell you things that can only be perceived if they are obscured. I think of an occulter on the sun's lens, like on a camera that's trying to take a picture of the sun. You need an occulter to block out the main part of the sun image. Oh, and this just really wanted to come up. You need an occulter so that you don't see what's coming, but you can see what's around it a little bit. So, the last card that we pulled that jumped out of the deck was the Nine of Swords in reverse. So, if you read reversals, this could feel kind of a happy, a positive card. It also could indicate that there is something deeply disturbing that keeps you up or wakes you up in the middle of the night, perhaps trauma dreams, coming to tell you something. I really actually feeling this card with a vision, and there's an abundance of everything. I feel that tonight's dreams are going to be incredibly powerful for anybody receiving this message. So pay attention to your dreams if you know how. If you have never tried before, try to avoid using any substances that keep you from dreaming. There's supposed to be something coming through, I think, in all of our dreams tonight, overnight, as we have this partial lunar eclipse that is going to tell us not only what's been going on with us, but what's happening in the future. Now, is that a common interpretation of the Nine of Swords? No, but that is my interpretation in the context of the other three cards that we've pulled today. Nine of Swords reversed feels very, maybe I don't have to sleep in the bed I've made. Maybe I've woken up in horror in the bed I've made, and I'm allowed to recognize that now. I really got to get a better white balance for these cards together. But you have a bird singing, saying there's an abundance of everything. Scorpion in the night, bringing a vision and saying that things happen symbolically, and we are supposed to interpret them symbolically. And we have the Nine of Swords reversed, a 9 energy with an air energy, and inward reversed, maybe positive, maybe the inverse of what you usually take the Nine of Swords to mean. If it doesn't mean trauma and keeping you up, maybe it means learning from your trauma or getting a vision. Maybe if you get trauma dreams, don't try to silence them tonight. Maybe they're trying to tell you something. Trauma dreams are like phantom pain for a limb that we never even wanted but got cut off anyway. You know? I think trauma dreams are really important for advancing the collective. I also, one happy little thing, let's not talk about trauma dreams too much, but one happy thing I like about the Nine of Swords reversed is I saw that meme that was like, the Nine of Swords upright is, oh man, I got so twisted. I came home with a bunch of fucking swords again. And I like thinking about that, reflecting on our actions, what's keeping us up at night, what is really the truest like depth of our pain. Have we gone through every single level of our pain to try to understand it? Or do we have more levels yet to sink through in order to understand the final one? And we don't really want to get to the Ten of Swords place. The swords get pretty nasty as you get up in the suit. But Nine of Swords reversed, I like a lot for the context of having a vision of abundance tonight. We might not, it might not be an abundance of something that we think of as positive, but there certainly is a lot of energy coming towards the earth tonight, pairing really well with the ecliptic plane being aligned with the sun and moon. I think that this is going to be a really important night for dreaming. So I love you guys very much. Thank you so much for coming to this stream. Please take the messages from this what you will. Thank you so much for putting up with me having a 2-hour stream because I talked for an hour with no mic on. All right, I will edit that later. Okay, I'm going to put this back in here and stop streaming. I love you all very much. Goodbye. Good night and goodbye. Oh, look at the moray patterns on my shirt. I forgot to tell you. I have my funny shirt on today because this shows really hard to pick up moray patterns that the it's trippy. It's like the Tame Impala Currents album. Okay, bye.